Welcome back to the grind. In this video, we are going to talk about the day 5 trading post, and there are a couple pretty exciting bits of information to share in this video. First of all, we do have access to gold chests, which is a great deal, and we will get to that, and we will also do an opening so that we can see how much sigils I get in return so that you can see for yourself. But first, we are going to start with the featured item, which is something we have never before seen offered in any way other than Atlas season progression and Forge. And it was random in the Forge, but we can now purchase an elite fire sword for 400 sigils from this trading post. So this is very cool. I think this is awesome for players, especially that do not have Atlas. If you don't have Atlas, getting and crafting gear can be extremely challenging. And of course, you will still have to level this up. But also, the other factor is that you essentially, the cost is kind of hard to break this down, but Morion had kind of split it in how much sigils it would take to get enough shards from a season rider branch in order to craft a sword from the Forge. And basically, what his evaluation was is that it is cheaper to spend sigils this way and much more convenient than it would be to spend them on a rider branch and then try to forge it, because there is the the RNG factor. You might get lucky and hit it right away, but you also might get unlucky and it might take you longer than the average player. And so in for all those reasons, if you have trouble getting access to gear and you need another fire elite sword and you have the sigils, this is in my opinion, this is a good purchase because it saves you a lot of time. It kind of does save you some resources, and if you don't have Atlas, then this is like a much easier way to get this item. If you do have Atlas, then you likely have access to a lot of gear, a lot of shards, and if you wanted to, you could be constantly crafting swords until you got the ones you needed. Now, this would be a convenience factor. It would get you to your goal much quicker. So if you have the extra sigils and it doesn't mess with your season plan, I do support you just going ahead and grabbing it for that convenience factor, to put it on your dragon sooner, to have a little bit more fun, a little bit quicker, and then putting those resources into actually leveling it up instead of trying to craft it. But if you have Atlas, this is not necessarily a black and white great deal for those reasons, but I still support it for those who maybe don't care as much to maximize and optimize their resources. The next item we're going to take a look at is the boosts and XP potions. Now, these are not necessarily something that is necessary to spend your sigils on, because it is very easy to just level up dragons, and there's been gear like runes that help. I personally have invested in some of these in the past, and I have so much excess now I don't need to buy these, but I do like having the particularly 200% boosts, but I also do like having some potions, for your, just to finish off a level, you've run out of your multipliers, you just want to get it done with and move on. If you don't have any of these and you have some extra sigils, then I support having these on hand because of the convenience factor. It's so much easier to enjoy the game when you don't have to spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day leveling dragons to get them to where you want them. This definitely cuts down the burden significantly. And since I've had access to these in excess, I have, it's been a little bit more enjoyable not having to focus so much time and effort on grinding out experience. But there have been a lot of other changes recently as well to make it a little bit easier. So you can actually farm EXP on empty bases. So if you don't have one saved or one that just has farms, you can check out the video I have. Just search it in the YouTube or ask friends or in a line chat somewhere for a base to use for that. But I do like having these on hand. The next one is ice shards and you have to give up wind shards to get ice shards. So again, if you are really running out of ice shards and you have a ton of wind shards, or you're trying to get one last level on a piece of gear and you need to make up that difference, then this is good. It's a fairly good exchange rate, and you can do it multiple times, so it actually is an impactful way of doing this. And I just realized I have over 4 million wind shards, and I don't know how many ice shards I have, but I know that 4 million is a lot of shards for me to have in one particular one, so I might as well just divert some of that into the ice shards. And it really isn't changing that drastically. It's not a ton, but so that's why, like, you know, if in fact I didn't need to do this, it's not gonna be that devastating. Anyways, so that's the first time I've actually done the shard exchange, so that's kind of cool. So good for some people, but most players probably aren't going to meet the specific needs for that. Then we have 300 sigils to get you 8 gold chests, and you can do that 10 times. That is definitely something that I recommend doing, because basically, if you convert these sigils into ruby value, you're basically paying half price for these gold chests, and you are going to get a decent amount of the sigils back. I don't think you'll get them all back unless you get super lucky, but I'm going to go ahead and buy all 10 of these for 3,000 sigils, and we're going to take note of how many sigils we have, and then we're going to open 80 gold chests and see where we get. But before we move on, the last one is Rune Dust. Now, if you need Rune Dust, then this is obviously nice to have access to. It's not quite as good of a deal as, for example, from the exotic branches, where you can get tons of Rune Dust on the way to the runes or glyphs, but it is a decent deal. So if you do need Rune Dust, then this is something for you, but it's not something that I would say you need to jump at this opportunity and stock up. So if you don't need it right now, then you can go ahead and wait. There may be better opportunities later on. And I don't think we've had an exotic branch yet, have we? So that may be coming, actually. Anyways, now we will go on to our chest opening. We currently have, we'll just call it 1,200 sigils. And we are going to go and open up 80 gold chests and see where we land. So I'm going to have a hard time keeping track of these because 80 is kind of an odd number here. We got a little bit of sigils there, but lots of good drops there. So on to the second round here. We are going to get no sigils from that drop. That's too bad. Round number 3, pulling out... Again, no sigils. That is also too bad. Lots of black pearls from that one, though. And we got the bonus one is going to get us some more inner fires. Round number 4. Sorry about that. We are going to get some extra sigils, so that's pretty good there. Round number 5. Lots of egg tokens from that drop. Again, some more sigils, so that's pretty good. The 6th one here. We're coming close to the 80. There we go. That was a pretty good sigil drop there. And then we got our bonus coming in here. More sigils. All right. Round number 7. We are going to get... No sigils on that one. Lots of energy packs from that drop. The last batch of 10 to complete the 80 that we purchased is going to hit us with, some good sigil drops. Man, so I came in clutch at the end there with some sigil drops. So if I hadn't hit those, I might have not done quite as well. I obviously wouldn't have done quite as well if I didn't get those good drops. But let's go and see where can I check my sigils here. I got... How many did I get? I got 1,700? 1,700? I think that's 1,700. Sorry, I'm really tired, so the math is tough there. So we spent 3,000 sigils and we got 1,700 back, I do believe, because we said we were at 12... Yeah, 1,700. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I do apologize for not being able to be as confident with my math right now. But we basically got just over half of the sigils back, but we got a ton of other resources like PvP resources, egg tokens, which, if you may have known from my previous video, I do need lots of those because that's my primary limitation in progression currently is breeding progression. That's what's holding me back. So I definitely support the gold chests. It will put you at a sigil deficit, but if you can afford that, you will end up having a ton of other resources at a much reduced cost. So that is always nice to have. So this week of trading posts was actually quite good. It wasn't that everything in it was a must-have, but pretty much everything was something that I could say, not everything, but most of the stuff I could say, for your situation, you can benefit from it. So it was good. And there was a lot of really good things that were hard to resist, which ended up being pretty hard on my sigils. So I'm sure a lot of people as well. Let me know what your thoughts are from this week of the trading post and from today's final day and those gold chests. If you got them, let me know how you did. Good luck with the remainder of this event, and I hope to see you in the next video.